Thank you for tuning in to Dynamic Art LLC. I'm your host, Daniel Butler, and this is part 3 of how to make prints with your artwork. So we're going to get right into it, and I'm just going to basically show you a couple of things. We're going to go back to the first initial project that we did, which was the drawing of our actual tiger. And the one thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and rip your paperwork or your sketch out of your art book, and you're going to need a scanner. And you're going to go ahead and get a scanner that can scan a high resolution. I use an Epson scanner separately. I know a lot of machines have scanners that come with them. Those will work as long as you can scan at least, I would say, 1200, no lower than 600. Because you want to be able to get the resolution as clear as possible. So I scan it on a high resolution, so that way when I import it into the actual system, I'm able to go ahead and get the best quality possible. And that's for anybody that's doing any kind of artwork that needs to be scanned in. If you want to make a print of that artwork, you want the best resolution possible. These particular scanners are really good at that. And you just want to put it in there and scan it as best as you can. For our next part, we're going to move over to that, and that is going to be done with the camera. And you're going to have to make sure your lighting is balanced, but we'll go over there and we'll take a look at what the setup is for the part 2 of this, and then we'll go ahead and move into the next part, which will be how we set it up in the system so that we can go ahead and print. So let's get to it. So here we have our part 2 of the video, which was doing our painting. And there's a couple things that we want to do so that we can make prints of this particular painting. One is we have to be able to find a way to get it into an actual computer system at a good resolution. And the best way to do that, because this is too big for a scanner, or at least a scanner that a normal person would have, we're going to actually take photographs of it, and we're going to take photographs in high definition. The reason for this being is we want to minimize the distortion that will happen from it losing resolution once we put it into the computer system. Now, key things. Your lighting has to be pretty good on this. You want to make sure that you light it up from both angles. We're lighting it up with one lamp here, a lamp here, and then we also have an overhead lamp that is shining down on it as well to give us the best light possible. Now I'm taking it with a camera that is a pretty cheap camera to get. It's a PowerShot 6x50, and I think this will cost you maybe around 150 or 200 used, somewhere in that neighborhood. And you can get some extensions that will help you take better pictures as well. But the main thing is this is a regular camera, and this will give you the ability to get the best picture as possible on a budget.
Alright, so now we can go ahead and start taking care of our touch-ups and just getting our stuff ready for print, because we want to make sure that everything we do is at a quality that we can at least hand to a customer. However, I will say that I am doing some of this stuff a little bit unprofessionally, and I don't want to say unprofessionally, but I'm not doing it to the highest quality as possible, because I want to make this realistic for people who may not have all the equipment or access to the best cameras or the best scanners. So this is going to be a little bit juvenile from that standpoint, but it's going to be on point as far as if you're trying to make prints of your artwork. These are the steps. Now, in our first video, we did our actual sketch, and for those who just draw or they scan their artwork in, this particular part is going to pertain to you. We're going to start off in Adobe Photoshop, and we are going to scan our item in, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here because I've already pre-done some of this, but we're going to make our print 18 by 24. Okay, and you might do 11 by 17 or some other size, but you want to make sure that your canvas size is the size that you want to print. You never want to try to blow it up after you've scaled it to a size, because you risk having too many pixelizations in your actual image and making it look unprofessional and not as clear. So whatever size you decide to print your items at, you're going to make your canvas that same size. First thing I want to bring in here is we're going to go ahead and bring in what the main picture look like. And I blew it up to fit this 18 by 24 area. It was on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and this is what we have. Now we have all this open space up here, and I am going to utilize Photoshop to fill some of this stuff up. But before we get to that, there were a couple things that I wanted to change about this print. One was I felt like the background blended in too much with the actual tiger, so I made a copy of the tiger and I went ahead and I lightened the background, and that is what we ended up with. And so what I'm getting out of this is the focus is more on the tiger and less on the background, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that there were rich colors in the, or not rich colors, but rich shades, I should say, in the actual drawing. And so I wanted to bring that out, and that's why I cloned, I don't want to say cloned, I made a copy of the actual head and we put it on there, and I can show you what it looks like if we take the head out of there. That's the lightened version. So we put the head back in, and I just made sure that everything blended in with it on a nice scale. If we zoom in here, you can see that I have went back in and edited to make sure that things look good here. Now I wanted to take care of this open space, and the first thing I did was I wanted to put a little tint of gray in there, and the reason why I did that is I just wanted it to have more of a structure of a blend from the top. And then I went in here and I just cloned different parts of this background and I added it in here, and this is just to use as filler. Once we put this background in here, bam, and as you can see, I kept it where it still looks blurry. I kind of blurred a little bit of it out by using the smudge tool, because it's not the main focus of what I want you to pay attention to in this particular part of doing the sketch and the scan in. And I just wanted to fill our entire canvas at 18 by 24 with no empty space, because in the original drawing I left this little rock cliff there, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, and I just kind of stopped there because the tiger was really all I cared about in the showing the actual video. So this is what we're looking at. I have things set for CMYK because we're going to print this. Next, I want to go ahead and I'm going to bring in our next one, but we're going to, now I'm going to re-edit this here in a second. I'm just going to go ahead and crop it down first, because this was the picture we took. And like I said, I'm not a photographer by profession. So I want to make sure that you understand that what I am doing here is basically showing you the best route to go in order to make copies of your prints. And I didn't even use our best camera to do this, just because I wanted to make sure that things were a little bit easier for you to recognize and you know, get down as far as what things need to look like. Okay, so we cropped that out. We have our image in here for the one that's painted, but we need to go ahead and we're just going to make a new one again, and let's change that. CMYK 300 is good. Pixels again, or inches, I'm sorry, 24, and then 18 on the height. Hit OK. We're good there. Let's go back over here and we're just gonna crop this in. But first, let's go ahead and finish editing this out. We want to make sure that we get this cropped to the best possible. And as you can see here, we are cutting in just a little bit on each side. And up top, you can bring it down right there. Alright, we're good to go on that. Let's crop. Bam. Alright, now we can take this particular image and we're going to drop this into our 18 by 24. And there we go. Images in. Alright, so let's get a good fit here. And going to scale it so that we fit our whole canvas. A little nudge there. Everything's set up. We're going to hit apply. And so let's take a look at our resolution before we do any adjustments. Things look fairly clear. I can even see the bumps on the canvas, which is really you know, what I'm looking for, because I know that it's picking up enough of the detail. That way the print looks good once we print it out. That's really what I kind of look for, the grain of the material. I know if I'm picking up the grain of material, I'm picking up a really good amount of our image, and we're going to get decent quality out of that. But I think we can take it to an even better level. Anytime you scan or you photograph something, it loses some bits of resolution, and by putting it in Photoshop, it gives us an opportunity to make up for that. So let's just go in here, and I haven't pre-done this. Typically I will pre-do this, so you're gonna see any errors or things I don't like. But let's go into our image, and we're gonna go to adjustments, and I think I want to go to hue saturation first before I attempt to do anything with color balance. And this is not a scientific method. I am definitely playing around to see what's going to give me the best quality in colors, and I am just going to, nope, don't like that. Ooh, a little too red. I do want a little bit more vibrance in it. So see, at a 0, that's what we got. So if we give it, take a little out of it on that hue part, -3, as you can see. Saturation, yeah, see, I took it up to 30, but if we take it back down to just 0, you look at that blue and how you know, light it looks. And then when I take it up to +30, which is what I had on here, let's see here, I like that. I like that a lot. The colors are sharp now, and I don't believe we need to do anything with the brightness, but let's just look at this. No, see, too bright, and it takes away some of that color that we had in there. And I don't want to take away. I think I want to leave that right where it was at 0. And I like what we're doing here. So let's take a look. And I mean, over in this area, it does seem to be toned a little brighter than I would like it, but I like all of this in here. I want to create a rich print when we print this. So let's try one more thing here, and we're just gonna go to color balance. And like I said, I'm just experimenting. None of this is what you have to do, but I'm just showing you options. Okay, so let's see here. By adding a little bit more green, or what are we getting? We're at 0. Add a little bit more green. I'm taking out the area I didn't really like in the back there, but how am I killing the colors? So I actually like that it's taking out enough of that flare. Let's see what we get. We add a little more blue. Plus 16. I think I like that. And I don't think I want to mess with the cyan. I think we're good right there. Alright, so overall I am liking what I see. You know what, I think I may try and see if we can change our yellow in this. Back to 0. What am I getting? See here. Like that. Okay, we're gonna leave it alone with that. And mid-tones were set. Let's see here. I don't know if I want to mess with the shadows. I don't want to blow out the highlights. I think we'll leave it alone and say okay. Alright, so we have our piece here, and I think we should go ahead and go into the printing process, and I'll explain things there. Both pieces are set to be able to be printed, and like I said, I tried some different things here. We're going to see how it comes out in the print.
Alright, so a couple things to note before we get into the actual printing of our prints. One thing is I saved everything as JPEGs 18 by 24. Now when you deal with a lot of printers, and even me at times, I will tell people that I need PDFs, and that's usually because it's a file that's easy to transfer between programs, and I can print easily with that PDF. But in this particular case, I'm going to view it as a novice scenario. I get a lot of people who are unexperienced in how to save files, so I'm going to print this as a JPEG, and I'm going to show you that you can still come out with good quality as long as you keep your size the same. So if you're making it as an 18 by 24, when you design your canvas in Photoshop or whatever program you use, it needs to stay that same size. That way it keeps the resolution.
So what I'm loading into the Rolling BM20 is a solvent glossy paper. It's an 8mm paper, very good for posters and prints, very durable. Like I said, it's 8mm, and we're just gonna run our sketch print first, and then we'll run our painted print next, and you'll be able to see the difference in the richness of the shades and the colors in both images.
Hey, welcome back. So we were able to finish our prints, and as you can see, things turned out pretty good on them. All the color adjustments I made, I'm pretty happy with. Was able to bring out a little bit more of the orange and yellows in it, and give it more of a vibrant feel while pushing the background a little bit farther in the back. I think that looks pretty good for our print. And these particular prints are not on a very thin paper. These are actually on a pretty thick paper, poster board, and they've come out pretty well. All the adjustments I made and alterations are strictly because we want to be able to sell these prints for a decent amount of money. Now, I do sell my prints a little lower, and the reason why I do that is because my originals will always sell for more. So in a print like this, we're gonna have about 79 cents in, and that's because we actually print our own prints. And I always tell any illustrator or artist, it's always good to invest in a large format printer so that you can print your own work. And you don't have to ship it out, and you don't have to worry about the extra fees that come with it, because then you're really into the profit making part of the business. And you want to make as much as you can off your artwork without cutting other people into that slice of the pie, so that you can just make headway and get ahead. These particular machines can cost a little bit more, but there are cheaper machines that print large format that are like in the HPs and the Canons, and I mean anything from 11 by 17 and up is going to cost you a little bit more when it comes to large format printing as far as machines, but they pay for themselves, especially if you have a multiple works that you can print. You're going to be able to sell them for a decent amount of money and keep your costs low. We have 79 cents into these particular prints, and I typically sell mine anywhere between $20 and $10 depending on the size of that particular print. And a lot of people say, oh, well, that's just way too low. Well, you gotta understand, these are prints that I expect to sell a lot of, and not just like a short run. For things that I'm going to do a short run on, I may change the material. I may print on something like canvas or something that has a heavier weight or a specialty material in it, so that that customer understands they're getting a different type of quality product and it's worth what they're going to pay for. So I hope you've enjoyed what we've done today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to tune in for the next episode. I look forward to seeing you again. My name is Daniel Butler. Have a good night. Please subscribe so that we can blow up this channel. Have a good day.